Today, we are going to see the cherry blossoms in full bloom here in Tokyo, Japan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Empathetic Wanderers. My name is Jeff, and if you are new to this channel, I am living in Japan, and I give you ways to deepen your travel experience, make it a little bit more accessible. So if that's content that you're interested in, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of the content that I'm putting out every single week. As I mentioned, I live in Tokyo, Japan, so while some of my content is Korea-based, a lot of my content currently is Tokyo-based, and today I am walking around the city as it is full bloom here in Tokyo. If you haven't checked out my last video on the cherry blossoms here in Tokyo, it was when the cherry blossoms were just starting to bloom, so check that out. I'll link it in the video here, but it is currently full bloom, so I just wanted to take you all to a couple different parks here in Tokyo. It's a little bit hot. I should not be wearing this jacket, this sweater, but let's go see it. All right, so the first park I'm stopping at is Ueno Park, and as you can see, there are a lot of people. It is not usually this busy, but it is right now. Mostly in this one main path. Sorry, the lighting. I'm not sure. It might look okay. But yeah, so obviously Japan is known for its cherry blossoms, and this is like a whole festival that happens every single year. It happens in other places around the world too, but this one is kind of the most well known. And then there is a thing called Hanami, which is literally means flower viewing. Flower is hana, and mi is the verb to view. And it's this period of time right at peak bloom, which is right now, when all of the flowers are out and people come and they put out picnic basket or tarps, and they bring food, and they come out on weekends with their friends just to enjoy sitting under the blooming trees. So it's really beautiful. There's a number of different types of cherry blossom trees that all bloom at different times and stay longer, or the leaves come out later or whatever. So definitely a period of time that you can come. Even if they're just starting to bloom, it's still really beautiful, but this is like what everyone is waiting for. And parks like this that are really, really big and famous. Ueno is a very large park right next to Akihabara. Akihabara is like what most people know as like the anime district. There's just a lot of people always here. So definitely if you come here, I would consider trying to find just like a small park if you happen to be here during this blooming time, because in small parks, like there's a park near my apartment where there's like no people, and it's really nice, and you kind of get all the same stuff, but you just don't have all the people. Also, be prepared for it to be hot, because I thought it was going to be freezing, and so I'm wearing a sweater, and it's way hotter. So this park is actually free too. I'm going to hopefully go to a couple more. It's pretty crazy though, so I'm not sure I'm going to get to all the ones that I wanted to get to, but if I don't, I'll still put them in the description below. Let me know if you have experienced Hanami before, if you've been to Japan, if you've gotten to see this, if you're planning on coming, and what your experience was, because it is really truly like a uniquely Japanese experience that everyone should go at some point if they can. All right, so another thing you should know is that this park is really big. There's a zoo here, there's a bunch of museums, there's just like massive Starbucks that I never go to because it's always crazy busy, no matter what season it is. So there's a lot to do here if you are looking for like a place to spend a full day. I usually come here at some point, and then you can always walk out, I don't know what direction it is, but out of the park to Akihabara, and there's like a lot of cool things to see there. Very like Japanese anime-esque things. So yeah, I just got off at Ueno station, and there's like a big sign that says park entrance, and so it's pretty easy to find. And from here, I'm going to show you a little bit of like the main square where there's like people that are performing and stuff like that, but then we're going to head to another favorite of mine, which is a park called Hamarikyu, which is in Ginza, Tsukiji area. Tsukiji is the area you go to get fish, and Ginza is the area you go to buy expensive things. So I'm gonna head there, and then hopefully head to a couple other parks, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. It's so hot. Okay, let's go. Hamarikyu Gardens, which again, like I said before, is near Ginza and Tsukiji. Really beautiful place. I just wanted to show three like distinctly different areas. So Ueno is like, you know, a really big park with like lots of things to do. Hamarikyu is more like a traditional Japanese garden, and then the last one I want to take us to is Nakameguro, which is like a shopping district area, but that has like a lot of cherry trees, and it's very iconic, and there will be a lot of people, and I'm a little bit scared. But I just got off at Shimbashi Station, which is where you get off on the JR line. There are different lines that you can take to get to Hamarikyu, but I was taking the JR. The JR line, for those that don't know, is a circular line that is in central Tokyo. So the nice thing about that is you can never get on the wrong way. It's just if you get going the wrong direction, you might stay on it for a long time. Just gonna pop down here and head into this garden and check it out. Alright, so we are here in Hamarikyu. As you can tell, it is a bit different. It's far more traditional insofar as, I mean, they're not really bonsai trees. Well, I guess maybe they technically are because they're still miniature. But there are still cherry blossoms here, and it is peak time. One of the cool things about Google Maps is, and I'm sure different maps, like different apps and websites, they'll tell you exactly when the flowers are actually blooming. So like in peak condition. So I'll put it right here in my screenshot of Google Maps. You can see it says like today is like a day that you need to come here to see the bloom, because there's so many parks in Tokyo that it can be a bit overwhelming to try and find. But you can even just see, like right now, this is so much quieter and calmer. This is a less well-known to tourists park. It costs money. It's 300 yen for people under 65 and 150 for people over 65. And yeah, so let's take a look and find the cherry trees. But there's so much to see. This is a really nice park. It's a little bit more difficult to get to. It's not like right outside of a train station, and there's a bit of construction going on right now, but definitely a must-see place, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if you've been here before, or if there's a park that you really enjoy coming to when you're in Tokyo. My favorite is Shinjuku Gyoen, but I already did that in the last video. I'll link it here. Japan if there wasn't a food associated with the season and the holiday, and this time of year is no different. There's a lot of things that are sakura flavored, so like cherry blossom flavored. Cherry blossom means sakura, and so one of those dishes or one of those treats that you can get at pretty much any of these places that you're going to, whether they be like any of these parks have dango places. So dango is like mochi balls. There's actually an emoji that you've probably used, and it looks literally exactly the same as the actual dish. So it's called sanshoku dango. So it literally looks like the emoji, and it's really good. There are like anything. There are more generic versions that they like taste like you bought them at like a grocery store, and so obviously the more touristy places have more of those, but this one seems pretty good. Super good. I forgot to take a picture of this. I was going to put it on my Instagram. While I'm at it, follow me on Instagram, Empathetic Wanderers. I put content out every day. A lot of it is not Japan related, but obviously my story is mostly Japan related since I live here. They're all the same flavor. They look like they're not, but they are. Super good. And then just like a tidbit to know, probably don't like get food and like walk around with it. People just don't do that really here. No one's gonna say anything, but it's kind of like you should find a place to sit. And usually there are places like this where I'm literally like staring at the place that I bought it, and there's like this area that everyone can sit and rest and eat. So yeah, no one really drinks like drinks, like not alcohol. I mean, obviously not alcohol, but like any normal drinks that you get at convenience stores, but they also don't eat when they're like walking. So just something to know. But let's keep seeing the rest of the park and then head to the next one. So another cool thing about this particular park is historically it has like a story, like everything in Japan, but a long time ago it was owned by the Tokugawa family, which was the kind of like ruling class before Japan turned back into a ruled by an emperor. Ruled by the emperor. So the current emperor's line goes back a long time. There was an emperor, but for a long period of time there were what were called shoguns. Shoguns were like basically feudal. It was when Japan was basically a feudal state. There were a bunch of feudal states, and there were shogunates that ran, essentially governors, that ran each of these states, and the Tokugawa family was in control kind of everything for about 250 years. And this was their residence, or they owned this land. And so one of the really cool things that I'm about to show you as I head out of the park is there is a tree here that's 300 years old, which means it was planted far before that family stopped ruling Japan. To this day, it's still alive. It's right at the front of the park. So I'm gonna head over, show you guys that, and then from there, head to Nakameguro, which is going to be, if it's anything like I've been before, it's going to be a tourist nightmare. It's like really small streets and lots of trees that are beautiful, but there's a lot of people. So this one was really pleasant. There's so few people here, and it's a Saturday right now. So, and it's like the middle of the day. So I would definitely recommend coming here. There aren't as many cherry blossom trees, and they're definitely more bloomed than like in Ueno and stuff like that, but it's definitely a must-see. So, and here is this tree. "300 years old. Hit that like button if you like old trees. I like old trees. And let's head to Nakameguro. Alright, I'm going to do this here because there are so many people and it's going to be really hard for me to film myself. You will see in a second, but made it to Nakameguro. I'm at Nakameguro Station. I took the Shibuya line from Ginza, which is one of the stations near, where was that before? Hamarikyu. So let's take a look and see. This is chaos. There's so many people and I'm a little nervous, but it's beautiful and I think you will agree. So Nakameguro is basically this area of Tokyo, and it's just like this big river with like a million cherry trees that are lining it. And so obviously during the cherry blossom festival, it is incredible. So these ones have started to already like show leaves, so they're a little bit past bloom, but still beautiful. And there's like, as you've seen, like all these different drinks and foods, and there's restaurants all over the place. Obviously the wait is crazy, and I'm currently walking at the speed fastest that I can because there's so many people. But it is, you can drink in certain areas like alcohol. I don't really know what the rules are around that though. But yeah, it's definitely somewhere to go. Just be prepared to have a lot of people visiting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long day for me. If you enjoy Japan content or Korea content, East Asia content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I'm putting out every week. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and comment down below. Let me know what you liked in particular, if there was a particular park that you liked most. I think for me and my stress levels, I liked Hamarikyu most because there were just not a lot of people. But if you're definitely like looking to have a good time and come with a bunch of people, this can be like a really great, Nakameguro can be a really great place to go. So go ahead and check out my playlist. There's a Japan playlist, so if you want to see other content that I've been putting out, definitely check that out. Let's just keep being positive, keep being empathetic, keep wandering, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.